Today is Friday, January 22nd, 2016. I want to welcome you to our web conference on the framework of the Community of Inquiry, also known as the COI. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend this web conference. I'm very excited you've chosen to do so. So we've finished our quality check, so we can move on to the purpose of this workshop today is to go over the components of the COI framework, the framework itself, and how it can be applied to the development of online courses. But before we do that, if you could kindly turn off your cell phones and place a note on your door that you're not to be disturbed. So let's sit back, relax, and take a deep breath. Give yourself this time to be free from other distractions and other worries. Let's focus and begin the workshop. So the learning objectives for this particular workshop is after its completion, participants should be able to explain the premise of the COI framework, list 3 components of the framework, explain how to incorporate each component into online course design, and explain how this framework relates to the field of your chosen discipline. Online courses can be engaging and interactive. So when you hear that statement, do you think this is true or do you think that this is false? So I would ask you to pause the presentation and write down your thoughts on this question or on this statement. And what I would ask you to do is not only look at it in the context of the courses that you have taught, but also the courses that you have taken. And I will meet you back here in a few moments. So welcome back. For those that said this statement is true, I hope this workshop will provide you new ideas to enhance the engagement of your course to even a new higher level. For those that said that this statement is false, hopefully you will see opportunities to make your courses more engaging and more interactive through the use of the COI framework. So what exactly is this framework? The COI framework is a community of people who desire higher order learning through a shared educational experience. There are 3 components of this framework: social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. So we will look at the first component, but first I would like for you to view a short video clip on the first component, which is social presence. So if you will just bear with me, I will be sending this video out to you. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the short video. I've posted the link to it in our text chat, which is located on the left bottom of your screen. So social presence, by definition, is the ability for learners to identify with the group, communicate in a meaningful way that occurs in a supportive and trusting environment, and thus will lead to hopefully the development of personal relationships. Cognitive presence is the ability for learners to construct meaning and understanding through critical reflection and discourse among the group of learners. And the last component is teaching presence. This is making sure the progress towards achieving the learning outcomes is balanced with the transactions among the learners and then between the instructor and the learners. So here's an assessment of those three components that we just went through. On the left-hand side, you have statements numbered 1, 2, and 3. I would ask you to pause the presentation and take a few moments. You're going to pick the corresponding letter from A, B, or C that goes with each of the statements on the left. So I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. So hopefully these are the choices that you have made. And this is just an important phase because we're now going to move into how these components can be incorporated into your online course. So from a course design perspective, when we look at social presence, we're trying to create that ability to have a supportive and trusting environment so our community of learners can exchange ideas and can put forth more probing questions to each other to really make this experience more meaningful. So what I would ask of you is to pause the presentation and think about your own courses. How are you promoting social presence? Or what ideas do you have that could promote this? And we'll meet back here in a few moments. So hopefully some of these ideas were on your list. I think we need to focus on the areas of interpersonal communication and open communication. So we need to make sure that the environment is trusting. So we need to have some guidelines about how people, what will be acceptable and appropriate in terms of interacting online. I think in addition, we can offer not only verbal communication, but through text chatting as well. So then people have different venues to share their experiences, their thoughts, their questions, and their stories. Once again, by having an environment that is accepting and trusting, we can promote this critical reflection. So how do we do this? We as the instructor might want to pull some quotes or statements from discussion board postings from various students. We might want to allow students to be able to comment on each other's ideas and really just fostering that two-way communication and an open way communication. Cognitive presence. This is the facilitation of meaning through sustained reflection and discourse among the group of learners. So I would ask you to take a moment. What are you currently doing in your courses to promote this? And what could you be doing? And we'll meet back here in a few minutes. So one suggestion is to use the practical inquiry model, which has 4 stages in hopes to capture this cognitive presence. The first stage is a triggering event, really trying to capture that curiosity of the community of learners by presenting a problem or giving them some type of story that really kind of captures their interest. Second stage is exploration, giving some mini lectures, assessing their knowledge of the concepts, and then kind of searching for, giving them the opportunity to search for relevant information to kind of answer those problems that we have been posing. The third stage is about integration. So this could be done in a group setting, having breakout groups, having some case studies, where they're trying to find and create a meaningful learning experience through dialogue, the agreement of ideas, how to solve the actual problem that they've been given. And the fourth stage is resolution, which is how we evaluate the proposed solution through that interaction, such as a group activity. In addition, during this phase, we should be summarizing what has been covered in the workshop. The last piece is the teaching presence, and this is how we design, assist, and guide that we're incorporating both the social as well as the cognitive processes so meaningful and worthwhile learning outcomes can be realized. So take a moment. How do you do this in your courses, or how should you be doing this? And then we'll check back in. So as far as the instructor, We could be setting up appropriate curriculum, establishing deadlines in terms of our projects and our postings, making sure that people treat people respectfully online. We could facilitate discourse through having a group to reach consensus when they're doing a group activity, encouraging contribution, assessing the progress of the group. So these are just some ideas about how we as instructors can incorporate teaching presence. So since we're all in the HR area in our teaching, what I would ask you to do though is apply this COI framework outside of teaching in the academic sense and into the corporate sense and looking at the area of training. So a lot of companies are doing online training, also known as e-learning in organizations. So I would ask you to pick an HR topic and really apply the COI framework, those three components, on how you would bring that in a corporate setting in regards to our training. So for this assignment, you're going to pick your own topic. It can be anything such as sexual harassment. It could be turnover. It could be job satisfaction. And what I would ask you to do is I would ask you to post this in your discussion section on Pilot. So then that way you can comment on your classmates or fellow participants their ideas as well as them commenting on yours, and then that exchange of feedback can be really beneficial to all of us. And this will be due in 1 week. So the summary of the COI framework is very important when you are developing your online courses. You really do need to consider each component. It will make your online courses not only better, but more effective as well. This concludes the workshop. Once again, I thank you for your time. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me. And I have also included a list of references that were used in putting together this workshop. So once again, thank you so much for your attendance. I hope this is beneficial to your development of future classes.